Hi guys, welcome to a very special video. Today I'm gonna be answering one of the questions that I get the most, which is which pen tablet am I using? Do I recommend? What do you think about it? And well, yes, this is a review. This is not a paid sponsor or anything, but I just want to share all of my experiences with this tablet right here. So I've been working with the Kamvas 16 2021 by Huion for the past year and like a half. I got it last January, so January 2022, and it's been a great tablet. It's this one right here that you see here. It's a pen display, so that means that it works as a second monitor. You can see the image going on there, and whatever I have on my main monitor is also going to be repeated here. So I've been using this for Substance Painter, Photoshop, ZBrush we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be showing you some examples in just a second. And it's been a really great tablet. So I'm going to talk about the good things, and I'm also going to talk about the bad things. So the good things, the size that this thing has is really good, as you can see right here, especially when you're working up close, like when you're at roughly, let's say, this distance, you get enough screen space that you can see pretty much everything, and it makes it very comfortable. Working with the pen display and working with a traditional pen tablet is quite different. I've been working with the pen tablet for like 10 years. I had an Intuos Pro before this one, and I still haven't gotten used to like seeing the screen. I sometimes look up into my monitor, but still a really cool thing to be able to go directly there into the image, right? I've seen that these tablets are a little bit more helpful for concept artists or like people who are doing like more digital painting sort of things. As a sculptor, as a texture painter, I don't see this pen tablet to be completely necessary. You can do this pen display to be completely necessary. You can use a pen tablet and you're gonna get pretty much the exact same thing, but it is very fancy and it looks very nice. As you can see, the price is quite affordable, 340 bucks. It's not bad, and so far I haven't had a single issue. Now, there's a couple of things I do need to mention. First of all, the cables. So there are two ways in which you can connect your tablet to your PC. The first one is with this very big, like 3-in-1 cable. It goes to the side of the tablet, and then you have an HDMI, a USB, and an AC adapter. So it can be a little bit cumbersome to work with those three elements. However, if you have a new laptop or a newer laptop with newer USB-C protocols, you can actually use this USB-C to USB-C cable. This is what I have with my laptop, for instance. And it's very comfortable because you just plug it into the tablet, plug it into your computer, and you're already working. My personal, or when I got this one, it had this stand, which allows to just have like the experience a little bit better for you. It has nifs. It has this battery-free pen, which is very important. You want to make sure that the batteries, or the pens that you're using are battery-free, because it's very annoying to have to recharge in the middle of a session. You got a couple of gloves and stuff like that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, the couple of things that I want to mention about the tablet, like the good things, is that it does have a like programmable buttons. You got 10 buttons on this one right here, and as you can see, you can switch and tell like what do you want each of those buttons to do. You can program this per software, so for instance, ZBrush, Photoshop, Blender, like whatever, depending on which like shortcuts you use the most. So if you're not gonna have your keyboard close to you, this is a perfect way to do it. They do sell a key dial thing. I haven't gotten it myself because it's a little bit pricey. It's like $100 or something. But it's this mini key dial that allows you to have a couple of extra like shortcuts. So I would say if you're going to be doing a lot of illustration and you don't want to have your keyboard near you, then this might be a good option. But I'm not going to be using it, or at least I don't have it right now. So that's for the general like first impressions of the tablet. Now, one thing, I'm going to talk about one bad thing, and this is a mistake that I did, so hopefully you guys don't make it, but I did not get myself a cover. So let me go full screen real quick. I did not get myself a protective cover, and as you can see, the center of the tablet is really damaged after having used it for a lot of this past year. It's not like a deal breaker, like you can still see it just looks a little bit blurry on there. I'm trying to look if there's any options to like polish or like smooth this out. When you clean it, it does become a little bit like a clearer, but again, it's not really a deal breaker. One very cool thing though, and I think that's going to happen with this tablet in probably like one more year, or like a couple of years, is that you can actually switch between pen display mode and tablet mode. So right now, for instance, I have the tablet turned off. I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in while this thing is still off. Let me go right there. Oh, there we go. So now it's plugged in, but it was still off. You can see or you're about to see here. There we go. So now look at my mouse. I'm actually controlling the mouse with the tablet, even though it's not on as a pen display. So eventually, when the screen becomes so blurry that I can't see anymore, it's just going to be a pen tablet, and that's pretty much it. Now, let's go into some softwares to try this out. So if we go to ZBrush, for instance, you're going to see that this works perfectly fine. Right now, again, I'm in pen tablet mode. Let me see if I have a quick save over here with like a cool model. Let's use this skull right here. There we go. So as you guys know, one of the things that we need to look for when we're doing any sort of like 3D work is the sensibility. So if I'm using, for instance, here Damien Standard, I want to be able to press very softly to create very thin lines, or very heavily to create these very strong lines as well. So depending on how strong you press, you're going to be able to get this sort of effect. Again, the response, the ghosting and all that stuff, it's pretty like non-existent. Everything is really good. I can switch between all of the brushes and it responds very nice. So I've used this tablet for ZBrush, I've used it for Blender, I've used it for Photoshop, I've used it for Krita, I've used it for Substance Painter, I've even used it inside of Maya for like some weight paints, and it's really good. There is one thing though. There's another like little thing, and I hope that Huion either solves it or the softwares get like a proper solution for this. But sometimes, I'm not sure if this is Windows or Huion, but sometimes when you open multiple softwares, so for instance, if I were to open Photoshop right now, since the softwares use the like sensibility, some use Windows Sync and some use other things, sometimes it messes up with the tablet and you can't really like get things to work properly. So you will get proper like sensitivity on one side and you will get a bad like response on another side. So again, let me open here a document real quick. There we go. And if I go to brush mode and I check the settings of the brush, I'm gonna let's use this hard round pressure opacity. And as you can see, the sensitivity is working really nice. If I press really hard, I'm gonna get full opacity. And if I press really smooth, I'm gonna get a lot less opacity. I have, for instance, here inside of Photoshop, my little button here on the pen is my right click, so that I can like just draw very quickly here. And if you guys have done any sort of like digital painting, you know that we like constantly sample some of the stuff right here to start creating some volume, right? So if I grab, let's say, a little bit of shadow here, I can start using and sampling these colors over here. We could also go to the brushes, for instance, and I believe there's a brush that has pressure, opacity, and flow. There we go. So we get a slightly different effect. And you can even go to the brush properties over here in shape dynamics, and the size jitter, we can change this to pen pressure as well. So now if I press very thinly, I'm gonna get a very nice thin line, and if I press heavily, I'm gonna get a very hard line. So yeah, as you can see, like Photoshop works perfectly well. Let me go back to ZBrush and let's use, for instance, clay buildup. And here's where things can get like a little bit weird, because sometimes, not always, like right now it's working properly, but sometimes I've had this issue where the driver doesn't seem to update properly, and you lose the sensitivity from one software to the other. Another software where this usually happens is in Blender. So let me go to Blender, and let's just grab this cube. I'm gonna go to the modifiers, and I'm gonna add a multi-resolution modifier. And I'm gonna subdivide this a couple of times. Let's do like 4, 5, 6. That's fine. And we're gonna go to sculpting. So in sculpting here, for instance, right now the pressure is working fine, but let's jump into Photoshop, for instance. Yeah, still working fine right here. And finally, let's go to ZBrush. Yeah, okay, so right now everything seems to be working on all of the softwares. But again, even while recording the new premium course that we have, I have been having this issue where sometimes the sensitivity was not working right. Again, I'm not sure if it's Windows, I'm not sure if it's the software itself, like Blender or Photoshop or ZBrush, or if it's the Huion driver. So make sure you have everything up to date so that you can avoid having this particular issue. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, if you go, let me open like a new like Amazon tab. Let's go Amazon US, for instance. And if we look for the Huion tablets, you guys are going to see a lot of options right here. The 13 size, this is a question that I get, like, is the 13 size good enough? It is good enough, but I do find it to be a little bit small. So if you want to have something compact, I would rather go with a pen tablet rather than a pen display. I think 16 should be like the minimum for pen displays. And then you can go to this one, for instance, the 22, which looks very, very nice. This is roughly the price that I paid back like last year. So yeah, now some of these new ones don't need the protection on the screen because they do have like the glass cover, which again, really, really, really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. One last advice that I would give, and this is something that someone on our Discord channel, which by the way you can join down here, suggested, is using an arm, like this sort of like arm thing that you can use for monitors, so that you can move the tablet around and you have like a wider range of motion and make it a lot more comfortable for you. Make sure to like get some rest every now and then, because when you're hunched down and drawing on the tablet, you can get your back into some really weird positions. So try to stretch every now and then as well while doing this to get the best possible effect or result. And yeah, that's it. So just to closing words, would I get another one if I had to? Like if this one broke or something, would I get another one? Definitely. This is a definitely good product. Huion is a brand that has not failed me so far. There are other brands, of course, such as Wacom and XP Pen as well. But I've asked several of my friends who also have Huions, and they are really, really happy with the results. So even if you're getting a pen tablet, like a normal pen tablet, I would suggest, if the budget is tight, to go and look for Huion options. So yeah, that's pretty much it, my friends. I hope you liked this review, and if you did, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to check it out, we have a lot of content here in the channel as well, where I use the tablet frequently. And yeah, that's it. Make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you back on the next video. Bye-bye.